大家好，这是多伦多小马哥，今天给大家送来了粉丝福利，邀请了我奥特曼商学院的教授。
Hi everyone, my name is Walid Hijazi, and I've been a professor here at the Rotman School of Management for 26 years.
大家好，这是多伦多小马哥，今天给大家送来了粉丝福利，邀请了我奥特曼商学院的教授Walid给大家做新的一期分享。这个是 Sophie， 是我的好朋友啊。那今天呢，正好是趁着是加拿大大学申请的这个高峰期，我们给大家做这一期视频，主要是给大家讲解一下加拿大这边好的学校、好的项目，主要是会看学生的哪些部分，就除了 GPA 还会看什么，同时也跟大家讲一讲这个北美这边最 care 的领导力的这一个话题。 OK，Sophie。
Hello， 大家好，我叫 Sophie 啊，我是在加拿大这个教育体系的一个留学工作者，然后今天特别有荣幸，然后参加小马哥这个栏目，然后我们也特别在一个奥特曼商学院这个大厅里跟大家来聊这个话题，关于 leadership， 关于大学申请这个话题。
对，今天我们的拍摄场地不是在我办公室，也不是说在大街上，是在 Walid School of Management 这个 building 里面。这里
可能是很多学生的一个 dream school， 对，尤其是像商科的学生。
对，所以说今天如果是正在申请加拿大大学或即将申请加拿大大学的同学，看到这个视频，一定要给我们点赞加关注。这里给大家插播一条小广告，小马哥这里有个留学交流群，不论是大家想申请加拿大的 college 本科还是研究生，都可以在视频的下方给我评论留言，然后可以后台私信我，我可以把大家拉到这个群里边，跟大家多多交流。
下面我也想要介绍一下我旁边的这位老师，他就是奥特曼商学院的 Professor Walid。
Hi everyone, my name is Walid Hijazi, and I've been a professor here at the Rotman School of Management for 26 years. I've taught thousands of students across 30 countries, including for many years in China. I'm the professor that developed the Youth Leadership Program with specifically you in mind. This program is developed for high school students to get you to understand the importance of leadership and how the development of these leadership competencies will help you be more successful in getting into a great business school, but also in your experience as a student and your career thereafter. I look forward to seeing you in the class.
Yeah, the whole point of sitting here today is that like we know Chinese students all care about GPA, right? And they fight for GPA. But when we apply to the top universities in North America, especially those competitive programs such as Rotman, Commerce, and Engineering, Computer Science, the GPA is a minimum requirement. So, Professor Walid, from your point of view, what makes a student stand out when he or she apply to university?
What a great question. So, everyone who applies and gets into the programs will have a very high GPA. So that's necessary, but not sufficient. You have to have good grades to get into a top school. And we know Chinese students study very, very hard and get these very high GPAs. But you need to think about it from the perspective of the recruiting committee, the admissions committee. They're looking at these thousands of applications, and everybody has a 95% average. So if that's all you're depending on, you may get in, but probably not. I've had emails from many parents asking me, my son, my daughter got 96%, but they did not get in. Why? And I tell them because having a strong GPA is necessary, but not always sufficient. So you want your son or your daughter, you as a student, you want to be able to distinguish yourself from the crowd. Of the thousands of applications, everybody has a high GPA. What else do you have on your application that allows you to stand out? There are many, many things that you could communicate, but one that we look for that's very important is what is the student's leadership potential? This is very important because we want everyone to have a high GPA so they can get through the academic. But we want students that are going to be involved in the school, in student clubs, have good interactions with their classmates, emerge as a class leader. But we also want people that, when they're finished, are going to do well in their career. And we know that those people that do the best in their career not only have good IQ, good grades, they have good EQ, emotional intelligence. And there's many dimensions to emotional intelligence. This program will help you understand them, but also develop them.
Yeah, it's really, really important for, especially for Chinese international students. I mean, yeah, right now there are more and more people in China wanting to go abroad to study, maybe UK, US, and Canada. But I think Canada is really different in the way that if you come to Canada, most people want to settle here. They want to get a job, they want to get the immigration status, they want to have a family in Canada instead of completing your program and go back to your home country. In such a way, the leadership is more important for those students who are intended to come to Canada because they must have those kind of skills to be settled here. So
Yeah.
It's not only about GPA.
Exactly. Talking about international students, also the kids, like when we talk about like leadership, is there a debate about like is that trainable or is it just born to be?
Yeah, that's a huge debate in the education area, in the academic literature. Can leadership be taught? There's some people that say no, there's some people that say yes. My opinion, and I've been working in this area for 25 years, is absolutely. I've seen the evidence. I've seen how people can develop their emotional intelligence, develop their ability to interact more effectively. Absolutely, it can definitely be taught. And the idea of people coming from many countries, so at Rotman, we have students from 100 countries, many of whom come from China. And one big difference between China and Canada is in Canada, the student pool is highly diverse.
Yes.
We have students here from 100 countries, which means if I'm coming from an environment where there isn't that high diversity, I'm not going to be as well equipped to interact across cultures. That's why one of the most interesting sessions that we have in the youth leadership program is cultural intelligence. How do I develop an ability to interact effectively across different cultures? And especially if they want to settle in Canada, it's much more difficult to settle in a new country if I don't understand the culture or I don't understand how to interact or do business in cultures, and that's what this program is about.
Yes, I mean, yeah, the parents don't want their children to, can only highlight GPA in their resume after they paying like 60,000 every year for the tuition fee, right? So they must let them children know the importance of leadership, teamwork, collaboration, those kind of things, which I think is more important for the student success in the future. One interesting thing I want to also add here is like because Alan is also graduates from alumni from Rotman, and he must take like leadership course like when he's doing his study. How much did you pay? Well, the tuition fee even is crazy. I think it's over 100,000 for 2 years. But I think you get what you pay for. Yeah. Like from what I learned from Professor Walid and the whole Rotman program, I think leadership it's much easier to prove over time. It's all about transition and it's accumulation of a lot of little things. But if a person wants to develop their leadership, you must be fundamentally aware of the importance of it and know how to train it in the long run. It's just like going to the gym to work out. Like imagine if you go to the gym, then you come back home, you look in the mirror, you will think nothing. And next day, if you go to the gym again and you come back home, you look in the mirror, you will think nothing again, right? Clearly, there won't be any result in a short run. So a lot of people quit. Or if you truly believe and fundamentally believe this is the right course of action and stick with it consistently, I'm not exactly sure what day, but I know you will start getting into good shape. So I think that's how you develop leadership, and it's not about an event. It's not about intensity. It's all about consistency and self-awareness. You must know the importance of it when you are very young.
By the way, congratulations on the MBA. Secondly, who was your favorite professor in the MBA program? Okay. But you raised such an important point, Alan. It's clear you did the MBA, very smart. But the idea about Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 hours, You can't develop your leadership skills, as you said, on a weekend. You can't go on a weekend to a course and develop it. It's a long term. You have to work at it. If people don't know what leadership is and how important it is, how can they develop it?
Yeah.
That's why this program is so important, because we're going to get people when they are 16, 17, 18 years old, understanding the importance of leadership, understanding what leadership is, what are the characteristics of a great leader. And now they have all of their undergrad to prepare that, to practice it. Like you say, going to the gym every weekend. I feel sorry for those students that only start to think about developing their interpersonal skills a week before the job interview.
Yeah, you're right.
In contrast to others who even in first year, they have good interpersonal skills. The other thing about networking, I can give you so many examples of students I've taken to important events. You can see those students that are comfortable, they're able to have conversations with people about professional issues, people they don't know. And other students I take will sit with their friends and they won't move because they haven't developed the confidence or that capability.
Yeah.
This is the kind of program that will put students on the path towards developing this competency that will pay off in the future.
Yes, I mean, when I get into Rothman MBA program, the first thing I do is to identify myself. I mean, it's like I look in the mirror and critically identify my strength and weakness. I think it's really, really important. If I got a chance to look at myself in such a way, when I was in high school, I maybe today I already moved to the next stage of my life. Yeah, so I think this program is so important because it makes students, high school students, to raise self-awareness and know the importance of soft skills instead of GPA merely.
They're both so important, and the earlier students can really appreciate it. And I think for the parents, not only, in my opinion, should you enroll your children in this program, but afterwards you should make sure that they took away as much as possible from it.
Yeah.
It's not just about attending and getting a certificate. It's about really learning, spending your time to learn and be involved, and then actioning the lessons that you have. I think the benefits are significant.
Well, but do you think who need to develop leadership? Business students or engineering students, computer science students, or everybody need to do it?
I'm so happy you brought up engineering students, and this is the reason. 40%, 40, so almost half of the MBA students at Rotman are engineers. And the reason is when they finish the engineering degree and they go out and work, they got fantastic technical skills. So on the operation side of the business, they're good. But to try to move to the management side, they cannot. That's why they come back and do the MBA, because the MBA allows them to transition from the operation side to the management side, but also move up to the leadership side. A big part of that is developing your leadership competencies. These students that do engineering, had they developed their leadership skills much before, maybe they don't need an MBA.
You're right.
So this program maybe will hurt the MBA program.
Okay, the Rothman mission will come to us complete. Okay, yeah, I think it's totally true because look at the application requirement of the engineering department at the University of Toronto. They also have the interview part. It's not just okay, you submit your transcript. They also look at your interview performance and also your actual curricular activities, which they want you to demonstrate leadership, teamwork, those soft skills. So I think no matter what you do or what major you want to study in the future, leadership is I think it's a must-have.
Yeah, you mentioned teamwork, and working in diverse teams is a fundamental part of leadership. It's so important. The Rotman building is beautiful, and the engineering building is beautiful. The one thing that you notice as soon as you walk into the engineering building, and for all of you that are here in Toronto that are interested in engineering, you should walk through that building. The immediate thing you see is the amount of co-working space. Every floor, they have areas where people are working together. I don't think you can be a successful engineering student if you can't work effectively with your classmates.
You're right.
And having those EQ, having good interpersonal skills, having empathy, having leadership skills will help you be more successful without question.
Yes.
Yeah, Professor also gonna taught us personal branding. That's also one interesting part.
Mhm.
Like I like. So Professor, like, have you ever experienced any personal branding disaster?
So there are so many young people that come through the university, and TikTok wasn't there before. It was Facebook before, but many people post things on TikTok and different platforms, not thinking about what the long-term effect will be. People have fun, and there's nothing wrong with that. But your personal brand means a lot. What people think of you means a lot. So you want to make sure that people think of you as someone who's smart, who's reliable. That's why when you do group work, you have to deliver you have to, because it's about reliability, but you have to be of the highest ethical standards. In all of the letters I write, this is what they ask for. Your brand is everything. And the other thing that people learn is the importance of networks. You have to know people, you have to know how to communicate. But branding, your personal brand, and networks go hand in hand. People are not going to recommend you if you don't have the right brand. So that's why you want to think about yourself as a portfolio. GPA, IQ, EQ, your ability to communicate and interact with others, your emotional intelligence, your empathy, your self-awareness. You don't want to be the person that goes into the room and you're talking and talking and talking and dominating the conversation, and everyone's saying, why won't that person stop? And I've been in lots of situations. You asked me this question, Sophie. One time I took a student to an important roundtable, and he was unemployed. And he started talking, and the person to my right said, I can see why he's unemployed. That's an example of an individual who had very, very poorly developed EQ, but had a very high IQ. It's important, and that's what this program's about. The program's about allowing people to identify self-awareness, so you understand what people think of you, and because very often you have a perception of what other people think of you, but what they think of you is very different. So developing that competency, self-awareness is so important.
So today it's a great honor to invite Walid here to come to my channel, and this is a real free Rodman MBA lesson, and there is no cost at all. But I think, if people can understand what we are saying today, raise the self-awareness and know the importance of leadership and the importance of developing soft skills at a young age, there will be like tons of benefits compared to come to an MBA program at a mature age.
I also want Professor to give students like maybe 3 tips when they apply Rodman. If you
No.
or 3 tips to improve their
When you apply to any business school, your grades matter. They're absolutely necessary. You're not going to get into a top business school if you don't have the top grades. But think of it from the perspective of the admissions committee. The admissions committee is looking at thousands of applications, not hundreds, thousands. And everyone applying has a very high GPA. So you want to think, what else can I put in my package that will allow me to stand out? And one thing that helps for many schools relates to your leadership capabilities. Is this student going to come into the program and really interact well with other students, be involved in extracurricular activities, be a good citizen? These are important things to add to your package, but at the same time, making the admissions committee confident that you will be able to be successful academically. It's not only academics. It's academics necessary, but not sufficient. These other things matter a lot.
这也是我第一次用全文英文去给大家录这期视频，其实我自己也有点小激动的。然后那其实跟婉丽的教授今天来做这个视频的一个目的呢，也是说想去宣传，就是让家长还有学生更加重视领导力啊、沟通能力、团队协作能力这种软实力的重要性。因为确实这些东西是我们之前没有机会学到的，而在这个北美这边就很正常。我可以给大家举个例子哈，正好婉丽的不在，我也能用中文给大家说了，就是说之前我采访过一个嘉宾，他叫Kelvin， 然后他是 Appleby College 这个顶斯毕业的，然后他的本科也是在 Rotman Commerce 读的，他第1年的 GPA 就非常好，会比其他的 international student 要好很多，也是年级里名列前茅的。然后当时我就问他，我说为什么你第1年的这个 transition 这么 smooth？ 其实我们当时在国内上这些中加班的时候，也是全英教学，然后大家的成绩都是96、97都没有低的。 但是第一年来到这些国外上学的话，也会感觉不适应。然后我就问他为什么他能适应，他就说他的 college 就是他这个顶司在高中的时候就不断的去灌输这种 leadership teamwork 的这种概念在，不断的有这个团队协作的能力，不断的去通过各种这个课外活动，或者是学术活动，或者是体育活动，来让他们有这样的一个意识在。所以说他进到大学，他会认为跟我在高中没什么区别，我高中就这样，我大学也这样，就是很超前哈。就我知道可能现在国内都在卷什么。我现在初一我要学高中的这个数学课，但如果这样的话，如果是大家特别想出国留学，不如说在高中的时候能去学一些大学，你才能学到的这些 leadership、teamwork 的这些 effective communication 的 soft skills， 我认为会比你多学几年数学要更加重要。对。然后呢？
对，刚才安安说的特别好，就是他其实是从高中就在这边，可能还比我超前一点，因为我是研究生的时候才开始接受这种有关于 teamwork、leadership 等等这些。我在工作呀，包括这个升学的过程中，其实也都是非常受益的。然后我们也很开心，其实参与了 Rothman 的Youth Leadership 这个项目的开发。在这个过程中，我其实真的非常感觉到这个力量啊，就是说关于如果你在很小的时候就有这样的培训的话，你从整个的这个思维方式上面，其实跟你同龄人
都会不一样，
很不一样，
会不一样。对，就这个项目，这个项目我们就是强调一下，它是 Rothman 自己的这个官方的项目，就叫 Rothman Youth Leadership Program， 它是个官方的一个项目。然后因为它也是我母校的一个项目，所以说我们都非常的支持它。然后刚刚 Sophie 也说，其实Sophie 的大学是在郑州大学读的，那可是我们河南省正儿八经的 No.1 的学校。但是你看它，也就是说你的学术能力肯定是在就没什么说的了。但是你出来了以后，你会发现，哎，北美这边。好像你学术没有说非要到100，可能90也够了，但剩下的就要看你的communication、leadership 这些东西了。
对，就是作为一个其实理科生，这个方面更有这种感受。我也大概介绍一下我们这个 leadership 项目。其实它是有2周的课，然后非常 intense， 应该说学生会在很浓缩的时间里面，它这个是要包括6个 session。第一个就是这个关情商的，第2个是关于这个有效的沟通，第3个是关于在不同场景下这个领导力方式的，第4个是关于 culture difference， 就是说在不同文化下如何去沟通以及 interact with people。第5个呢是关于 social media， 也就是 personal branding。作为一个博主，艾伦特别不安全的这个影响力带给你的就是机会以及等等这些。当然特别想强调的有一个就是它其实是更多是一个很互动的一个项目。有 case study 有 break room 的讨论，以及小孩的这种 presentation。
对，就这个项目，实话实说，也给大家打个预防针，它不是说一个就那种大家上完了以后就一定会得到什么 certificate， 100%有推荐信的这种刷背景的项目。它确实是个实实在在 Rothman 商学院，甚至是我们 Rothman MBA 的拿出来的实在的东西，给高中生去讲，然后当然是把难度也降低了，然后主要是让大家能意识到。在这么小的一个年龄能意识到这个 leadership、teamwork 这些东西的重要性，然后大家只有意识到这个重要性的时候，才能在未来自己出国，就是一个人出国过程当中才能训练到，对吧？因为这时候父母其实给你们的 support 除了钱也没有什么别的东西了。对，那更重要的就是说，等你出国以后，其实路还要自己走。那你这些东西只有意识到了重要性以后，你才会刻意的去锻炼。
对，这个而且刚才 Rothman 我跟安安聊过，我不是一个非常名校追问的一个学生或者一直以来，但是我觉得非常值得，从你的时间投入和你的金钱投入来说，都是特别值得的一个课程。在如此短的时间里，让你在如此年龄，
我回去都得给他 complain， 就是我交了12万学费2年，然后对吧？这我不想说了，这我得去 complain。
内容太丰富了，这些教授就是在曾经给艾伦这样的 MBA 学生上课的老师，
对，
都是在实实在在。
对，那个瓦利的是我经济学的这个老师，
对，
非常厉害。
在平常的时间里，可能大家根本没有机会跟他们1对1，甚至1对很小班的一个。
那不可能，我交了12万才跟他1对1，这个。
对，但是你现在就有机会能够跟到他学习这些东西，以及跟他有机会，甚至跟他个人产生 connection， 然后跟 Rothman 商学院的老师产生 connection， 这都非常难得。
对，今天来回到这个曾经上学的地方，还是非常感慨的。对，行，那今天就谢谢 Sophie，
谢谢。
Thank you very much, Professor Walid, and thank you for watching this episode. And please follow our channel, and we will share more insights about this program, about how to develop leadership, and about Rothman. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
那这期视频给大家留了一个小彩蛋，就是我在多伦多大学 Rotman Commerce 商学院里面有一个个人的奖学金，然后大家可以在它的官网上可以找到我这个奖学金的详细的信息。然后这个奖学金就叫做 Allen Mas Scholarship for Excellency in Leadership， 就是说，因为现在申请商科的这个学生 GPA 在逐年增高，就像Walid教授说的一样，所以说现在商学院的这些招生老师呢，不仅是通过 GPA 来筛选这个大家的这个大家的这个资格，同时也会更看重大家的课外活动、领导力、团队协作能力等等这一系列的软实力。那这个奖学金的设置也主要是为了奖励国际生在这个课外活动啊或者领导力这一方面有独特的一些建树或者有独特的表现。那关键词就是这个奖学金只给国际学生，这也是我当时设置这个奖学金的一个目的，是因为就是加拿大这个大学。所有的大学对本地生会有很多的奖学金的这个资助，但是对国际生会比较少。那我自己毕竟是国际生过来的嘛，所以说我就这个要求学校专门把这个奖学金只给国际生。所以说当大家申请这个 Rotman Commerce 的时候，都会有机会获得这个奖学金。谢谢大家。
We are the dreamers, we make it happen, 'cause we believe that.
关注小马哥，移民留学不翻车。